Hi Aries, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Aries, this week we're going to see if we can get messages to you from your starseed family. So kind of like messages from the cosmos. I am going to use a few different decks. I'm going to use the Moonology deck. I'm going to use my Animal Spirit Oracle deck. And I'm going to use the Muse Tarot, which I actually have not picked up in quite some time. But I'm going to start the whole reading with none other than the Starseed Oracle deck. So I'm going to start with that, and we're going to see what your Starseed family, what messages they have for you, Aries. Wow, what a potent message that you have, Aries. It literally is, in a nutshell, the universe is, I would say, the best way I could describe this is the universe is asking you to stand down. Stand down from perhaps trying to achieve something for yourself. Actually, I find it hard to say that sort of thing. And even myself, like I'm a doer. Because I go to other readings too, where people like say it so easily. They just say, yeah, you don't have to do anything. The universe is going to do it for you. Like, you know, you got to do shit, man. You got to participate in life. I'm sort of like a person like that too. But I got to tell you what the cards are showing me. And it is literally, not to, how would I describe it? Here, actually, this is a really good way that I would describe this. So I had mentioned to one of the other signs that I was reading the book, Who Moved My Cheese? It's about, you know, when things change in your life or you experience some sort of loss, it is not to be afraid and not to sit in the fear of that loss, but to explore the maze again, to go out into life, to go into the unknown and to see what you can find. Like there's always going to be something new for you to find. And to pay better attention the next time, if it looks like something is about to kind of like be taken out of your life or there's some sort of big change that's going to happen, is to notice those signs, like don't deny them, and then find yourself sort of in a difficult situation. And to take more control over your life and go out into the maze and find your new cheese. You're literally being told to sit in the maze, contemplate, meditate, and pray, and the cheese will come to you. What your message is. So let's see how that is told to you here. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, right? Because, okay, so the first little pile that I'm looking at is what you're being asked to do. You literally have two cards that say surrender from two different decks. So fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. So holding the opposites, extremes of life, that almost, I want to say even too, is like being in the in-between. So that is even actually relevant to the whole idea of moving through the maze to find your cheese. And your cheese can represent pretty much anything in your life. But it is to surrender and allow the divine to look after that for you in a way. And then you have surrender from the Moonology deck. Surrender to the divine. Full moon. So even like there's some sort of perhaps cycle that's closing off for you here, coming to a climax, and then it's time for beginner mind. So fall into the in-between with the divine right now. Surrender to whatever is unfolding in your life or whatever is, you honestly, like if you have ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, you are getting the complete opposite message of that, but of that story. And I would recommend it. It's a very tiny book. You'll complete it in like 20 minutes. And it's something that you can always go back on and read. But I don't even know. I think you would, but more benefit of it would be to understand the story, to see that you're the opposite of it. Because, yeah, I've never ever pulled anything like this out before. But it is so apparent. And it's not just there in this part of the reading where it says to surrender, but it is like, it tells you why, and then what it is that you need to do. And it's literally like, just pray, visualize, meditate. You have the Two of Voices, the Ten of Materials, and the Lovers. Right? It's almost like with this Two of Voices, like even having trouble finding the right path down the maze. That it's not leading this way, it's leading that way. And one of the things that's coming up in this reading too is that if you are trying to find things for yourself right now, if you're trying to correct things in your life that need correcting, again, it's so hard for me to say that because I really would never want anyone not to advocate for themselves. God, this is hard. This is hard for me to convey to you, but I've got to tell you what it says. And it's saying that. It's like there's this beautiful ring of happiness around the tree. So it feels like it is. I want to say it feels like legacy too. And it is a material card. I couldn't remember if it was a cup or a coin. But it is. It's material, so it's coin. So it is physical abundance in your life as well. Stability, getting yourself to some point where you are comfortable, safe. Oh, that's interesting too. This reading, the synchronicities are nuts. Okay, and then you have the Lovers, which is, to me, it's like divine choices. You have a divine choice here, right? But part of this divine choice is that divine brings it to you. Your starseed family is trying to tell you that there's a particular path for you and there's one way down it. There literally is one way down this path. And if you want to run through the maze trying to find it, that's fine, because you're literally just going to exhaust yourself. You're probably going to frustrate I can see that in the cards. You're going to exhaust yourself, frustrate yourself, probably create like huge emotional ups and downs for yourself, where this is a moment in time where you need to be still. You need to be still. And either all of the doors in the maze will just naturally close off and the path will be shown. That is what this is. Or somehow the cheese comes down on a conveyor belt to you where you sit. I know. But, okay. Okay, this little part here that I'm now going to describe in the cards that came out is what you should embrace, or what you should do to activate what's being asked of you, right? What's being asked of you is to surrender. To surrender. Just sit in the middle of the maze and mindfulness. I want to say that prayer and visualization is important. So, and that's all part of manifesting. But here's the other thing. Because Aries to me is also a manifester through action. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. Aries is the cardinal of fire. Like, it's just like initiate, do, go get it, find it, create it, build it. Very, very Aries energy. Like, don't hesitate. You are being told to go into what I would describe as almost like a Piscean type of manifestation, where it all comes from up here, and it does not come from any action that you do in the physical. It comes from the energy and the action that exists within your mind. The blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. You and your loved ones are safe. Why did that? Be fearless and bold. Okay, so that's the other thing. That's not hard to tell Aries to do that, to be fearless and bold. And to be quite honest, I think Aries is often the one that, the cheese has gone missing. It's time to go out into the maze and find me some new cheese. That's not asking you to be fearless and bold. What's asking Aries to be fearless and bold is to do nothing. To do nothing and let the universe do for you. Right? I mean, I could see that totally. So You and your loved ones are safe, and there's some sort of a new beginning here. It's to trust in the new beginning. So you are looked after in this as well, which I kind of feel like too, like, yeah, this honestly, if I was conveying this reading to pretty much any of the water signs, yeah, pretty much any of the water signs, maybe some of the, maybe Taurus and Virgo, maybe not so much Capricorn. Yeah, but they're a cardinal sign too, so right. It would be a very easy message to give. But this wouldn't make sense there because they would sort of, I want to say, and everybody is different, so I don't also want to label signs just based on, you know, somebody's sun sign. But typically, just typically, the sun sign of what I've mentioned, they do tend to be more manifestors through the mind and let the universe look after things for you. It will all come to you. So they wouldn't really have to be fearless and bold to do that. But you do, because it's releasing control, for one thing. It's totally releasing control. It's releasing the responsibility, I feel like, too, that you probably have, the feeling of responsibility that you feel you have within your own life, too. But, 7. Okay, so yeah, look at this. Okay, the 3 of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and then the 7 of Swords. And these are called voices, too. So the 3 of Swords. This is almost feeling like this is like sitting in the maze and maybe even feeling like lost in the maze as well. This is all this darkness, or almost as if there's not even a path. At least if it was a maze, you could start going down certain avenues, right? With that. I feel like your heart and your mind, there's some sort of conflict here. And it's interesting too, because then we have like emotion card, and mind card. So the 8 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. But this is what you need to do. I think you need to walk away, like, but this is walking. I don't understand the 7 of Swords. Okay, before I describe this, let me go to, I want to go to the underline of the Starseed Oracle deck, okay? All right. So you have Breath of the Cosmos, My Will to Thy Will, micromanaging the universe, which I feel like is the universe, like that's the universe saying, we're trying to do something for you here. But because you are so involved in it, we are not able to come through and create, like you might even be putting up physical changes, of course, in your life right now that the universe is like, whoa, okay, well now you're way over here, but you're supposed to be way over here. So now you're managing us over there. We got to, you know, it's just, it almost honestly feels like somehow the universe is, I want to say frustrated, but these big black eyes in this darkness almost to me feels like sort of like your starseed family, the universe, observing you in this. It's almost like not able to even find the maze. Like, which way do you go down in the maze? When you micromanage the universe right now, like then you get the great serving. It's Mars energy, and it goes anger, conflict, softening to love. But what I get with that is like when you're trying to create things in your life right now, and it's either not the right time to create it, or it's not the big thing that the universe has lined up for you, that you become frustrated. And in frustration, you could become angry with your Mars energy. And then there's conflict. And then you might even feel like the frustration, the conflict. What do I feel? What do I think? Like these things are not coming into alignment here. Star family, you're part of a team of souls. Call in support. So again, that's kind of like prayer, meditation, visualization again. Whale and orca elders, share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. Perspective, none of this matters, zoom out, common ground. So it's just like zooming out, just kind of zoom out, almost also as if saying you're looking too intensely at creating what it is that you want to create in your life right now. And because of that, you're going to meet frustration, you're going to feel conflicted. Share some of this burden on us. That's what your starseed family is wanting to say. Share most of this with us. Give it all to us at this point. But that's how you have to be fearless and bold. Okay, so now that I described that, because that's the whole part here where there's this conflict, right? And you get that with these cards, is walking away from the conflict. No longer invest emotionally here. Don't be there anymore. Don't sit in this conflict. The Seven of Swords is interesting because this is like a path that you haven't considered. Is this the path that you haven't considered? Or is this the path that the universe is trying to get you towards? Because it's coming up as the Seven of Swords, it feels like it's hidden, or it's it's kind of in some way a divine detour because of the foxes here. One of the animal oracle cards is trust in divine detours, and it's a fox. And I always think of foxes, right? Like they're always like all over the place. So okay. And look, so these are foxes. They're all foxes guarding this gate, this gateway, this entryway to somewhere. Think like a fox. And trust in divine detours. Think like a fox and trust in divine detours. Something or someone is going to lead you. And this person is connected to whatever this goal is. This almost has like a feeling of going into like a new reality, connecting with a new like soul family or something. You're going to be shown. You're going to be shown exactly where or what or how you're meant to do something. But you have to give it up. You've got to give it up to the universe. And it's okay to do this, right? Like you and your loved ones are safe. So it's okay to give this up to the universe, to let the universe look after that. This is just a general tarot reading, okay? So I'm just going to keep putting in these. Okay, so here, what should you soften your grip on? What should you change your concept in? Is, okay, the cosmic card. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Believe in the impossible. And turkey spirit, give with gratitude and grace. Now this is kind of like acting very graceful. Focusing on the positive things that you have in your life right now. And I want to say, because that's like a change of concept, because right now you have the Three of Swords, the Eight of Cups. But that Eight of Cups to me is walking away from the conflict. And, you know, the energy that I'm describing too with that Mars and the anger and the conflict. And that's not necessarily graceful. I'm not going to say that Aries is necessarily graceful. But believe in the impossible here. I want to say the word with gratitude and grace too. That almost comes off like prayer. So, you know, however you want to kind of attach that into your own life, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you would pray to, or even just, you know, like discussing your problems with the universe, just saying like, you know, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? What do you need me to do? And I want to say the thing that's really coming forward here, and without even having to ask that, is to allow something to unfold for you. The Three of Materials, the High Priestess, and then the Four of Emotions, the Four of Cups. It's changing, right? Like to change, to soften your grip on this, to believe in the impossible. I'm just looking at the artwork here. It's this moon connecting to her hand. I'm just thinking of like, I don't know why prayer is coming up so strong in this. And y'all know, like, I'm not a religious person. I'm spiritual, but it's really something here about that. Now, the Three of Materials. Why are these heads all disembodied? This has the feeling of like going in too many different directions. And then kind of feeling the weight, the suppression of that. Like this spiral effect of too many. It could be too many opinions too. Okay, so there's a couple, like maybe if you're somebody who seeks out opinions from others, or you are someone who, I don't know, it's just really like that, the energy of just one who would run through the maze and to find the things for them. But this is not. There's something that you need to manifest here for your life. It's part of your divine path. You're literally going to be shown it. But that is, it's not being created in what I would call your strongest, the one that you would lean into manifestation technique, which is doing. This is the complete opposite of it. Oh my God. Now I get why this for. I did not. The only thing I was seeing in this card at first was the person sitting in the bowl in disappointment. And then my eyes switched, which is what this section is telling you to do. And I see these two people coming together. So there's some sort of faith here. Something coming together that seems like it would be impossible. Open, well, this is interesting too. You have the Star card, open to the infinite possibilities, underlines. A new romantic cycle begins. Communication is key. What do you need to release? These are two like new moon cards here. Two new moon cards. For some of you, there could be something that you're trying to create or build in your life or find in your life. And you're doing it on sort of a singular level here. You're definitely not supposed to be building something singularly here. And I don't think that that goes just beyond like your spirit guides, your starseed family helping you. There's probably, I want to say somebody significant here, because now I did not see that. That's crazy, but it is one of those interesting, I can't remember what those are called, those artworks where when you shift your focus, you see something different. When you shift your focus, you see something different. Some of you, this could be connected to a new romantic cycle. When this starts in your life, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, then you'll be on the road to that. Yeah, some sort of relationship here that I feel like you're supposed to build in that relationship. But then it asks you, what do you need to release? I think it's control. I think it's control based on these cards. Now, this, okay, the underlying for the tarot, the Queen of Inspiration, which is the Queen of Wands, the Page of Voices, the Page of Swords, the Fool, the Star. Well, these two people are walking into the desert in different cards. The Star, the Hermit, the Devil. And then the Hermit's in the desert. All right, there's some sort of connection here. You're on a path. So here's the thing. There literally is one way to something here. But don't stress yourself out trying to find it, because it will be shown to you. And this, I'm actually seeing one of the other Starseed Oracle cards, which is all paths leave home. Or no, all paths lead home. But I'm seeing it like here, what you need to soften your grip on. Because again, it's like that maze. It's like not every alley down the maze that you take is going to lead you where you need to go. I mean, it could indirectly, but you could totally exhaust yourself, frustrate yourself, anger yourself doing it that way. Because there's one path here and it's the right path for you. I want to say even some initial form of inspiration here, something very ancient, because the queen starts off here in the desert with the pyramids. She starts off in the desert with the pyramids. She's really pretty too. She's really pretty. She just looks so calm. And there's a cheetah here too on a rock. And the cheetah is still. What is like Aries? And we're talking about that energy, like do. It's calm. It's still. This Queen of Wands is taking all that energy that I feel like she would put out physically into the world, and she's putting it almost like into a prayer, into a practice, into a visualization, into a meditation. Right? Oh, and you would be shown the path to walk here. You're going to be shown something. There is a path to walk here. Right? Again, what should you embrace? It is like releasing whatever this frustration is. Because too, it's like in the background, your starseed family is sad. No. You'll see the path. You'll see the path. Stop trying to find the path. You'll see the path to walk out into the desert. And then these beacons of light, this is a breadcrumb trail that you're going to be following. Right? It's almost like you say, okay, I'm going to leave the frustration. I'm going to leave the control behind. I'm going to visualize. That already sounds like too much doer. I'm just going to sit and fall asleep on the couch, see what happens, and then wake up and then sit in a quiet peace. Like this doesn't feel like you have to force it. You just have to let it be. Because when you walk through the desert, you're literally going to come to something that's going to elevate your perspective. And then you're still going to be walking through the desert. So the desert definitely is kind of an in-between, right? If you've left the initial starting point, and you may come across oases along the way. This is working smarter instead of harder as well. I'm just visualizing the little people and the mice running through the maze and the story of Who Moved My Cheese. And instead it's just to sit there. And you could still get to Cheese Station B in the maze at the same point that the mouse or the other little person in the story gets to it, but without wandering through the maze. And it's almost like I'm seeing like the wind move. If you follow the wind where the universe leads you, but like the metaphor of it in the maze is you could sit there and the wind is blowing this way the whole time while everyone else is running through the maze trying to find the next spot of success, achievement, the goal, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, like they're starting to get close to that cheese station, but then the wind shifts and it goes this way. The wind starts coming in towards you, and all of a sudden you can smell the cheese. And so you stand up, and you go up this ladder, and there you go. But you're not at the cheese yet. And then you start going in the direction of the cheese, but then the wind shifts again. Okay, the breadcrumb trail. So you sit. You don't wander around trying to find because as soon as you do that, you're going to start exhausting yourself. You're going to start utilizing energy that you shouldn't be utilizing, depleting yourself maybe. You just sit. You sit. Gratitude and grace. Oh, I'm grateful that I was shown to some degree what direction the cheese is, right? And then you wait for the wind to change again. There's that smell. And then you go, because it's like, oh, then the next, just like almost, oh, I have a really good idea. It is definitely in this direction. I'm just not sure which way to go down here, but I know it's over there. It's over there with the star card. And then, well, I don't know why the devil's here. What goes on with that? I don't feel like it's sitting in the right spot. There's something about these cards that they almost sort of like mix and match with the story that they start to tell you. Again, right? It is change your focus. Change your focus. Change your focus. There will be, I want to say there could be something in front of you to try to scare you off of something near the very end. To make you doubt yourself near the very end. When you're just about to achieve it. I mean, maybe I'm even talking about things that you've already done that have led up to a point here. And right now it is just, don't let the devil trick you. Maybe the devil is almost going to tell you to get up again. Because maybe you sit, maybe the hermit, maybe you've been sitting for a long time, because this is underlying. Maybe you've been sitting for a long time waiting for that wind to, like, okay, it's not coming. The wind hasn't changed. I'm not smelling where the cheese is, or I'm not being shown that direction. The devil. I actually want to clarify this Seven of Voices. Because that's how this is coming up now. Some sort of negative energy could try to work around you to detour you right at the last minute. Like you're so close to something. And because this is a divine course, I always feel strongly like the brighter the light in the person, the more divine energy that somebody is using in their life, or the more, I guess, higher frequency a divine path is about to become for someone, this energy gets in it real quick, like tries to, no, we do not need more people elevating and bringing higher energy to the universe. Now, I'm not sure how much I trust the Seven of Swords. I need to clarify that. Because it's like the devil shows up right at the end. And I can see these footprints that have led you to here. And this person is looking up. Show me, show me, show me. And depending on how you're asking for that too, like if there's a sense of desperation, it does bring in this energy. Always too, like, never make choices based on fear. And that's actually one thing that is definitely also in that book, Who Moved My Cheese, is what would you do if you weren't afraid? Because the devil is going to try to work on that. The devil will try to make you afraid. Oh, no, we're going to do the Rider-Waite. I want to see the Seven of Voices. Be fearless and bold. Right, and that's sitting under here. And what does that mean? Now, if I look at a badger, like because that's how it's sitting. The badger card is sitting above this card. And the badger to me, right, is the one being told to be fearless and bold. And it's looking at a path surrounded by foxes. Something's going to happen here where it almost feels as if you will need to initiate. You'll need to use fearless and bold in two different ways. One is to kind of, sit. There's times where you need to sit here. You need to walk into the desert and you need to sit. And then you will see things, you will see progression, or you will see, oh, this is the direction. And you'll go there, but then it stops again and then you sit. I feel like the sitting for you is the fearless and bold. Okay, I have faith. I believe in this. But then there's something here, and I kind of feel like it's the very end of a journey where the devil's going to show up, and the devil's never going to, if the devil's going to put any sort of guards around the path you're meant to take, these are the things that are meant to scare you off. And then the devil will want to create a path that looks much easier and definitely not scary. Right? So that's where I feel like the fearless and bold comes in differently. You might be shown something, a direction, a choice, why you would be fearless, need to be fearless and bold. The fox. Like I want to be careful with how we talk about this, because I don't want anyone to do anything like unsafe. I don't want you to go down a dark alley. Well, Cindy told me that it's okay to go down this dark alley in the worst part of the neighborhood in the town that I live in. I don't do that. It's not like that. Seven of Voices. What is this path? What is at the end of the path? Tell me the truth of the end of the path. I'm looking at the end of this bridge. It's the King of Pentacles. What is sitting in front of this path? What will you see in front of this path that you need to be fearless and bold about? The Four of Wands. Oh, and the Three of Wands. At first I thought, well, no, but this is going backwards. It's going from the 4 to the 3. Oh my God, the Four of Wands is a symbol of coming out of the desert. It's a symbol of the desert. With the Four of Wands is Venus and Aries, which is the longest trip that Venus makes to get into Aries. So it's kind of spoken as when Venus goes around in that trip, it's like Venus is traveling through the desert. There's no love, there's no water, there's no emotion, it's nothing. It's a long way to get there. But then when Venus does, it's a celebration. Because it's the oasis. Venus has arrived, has finally arrived. But the Three of Wands is not being there yet. So it could be a point where you feel like, I mean, you're about to achieve something, or you're about to meet someone that you're going to achieve something very big with. And at the gate of this, at the point where you're almost there, something may get into your head, or you may be shown something to make you feel like you have to keep wishing for this, or you have to keep trying to manifest it, that it's not there. The devil. The devil at the very end. The Queen of Pentacles. That's interesting. How does this work? How does the Queen of Pentacles? Emperor. The Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles. This is almost like something or someone with some great influence holds something back. Because these two are kind of like partners, right? Like the King and Queen of Pentacles. There is something here with a partnership between you and another. Oh, now I'm looking at this Lover's card. These are two people walking. It looks like they've arrived from the desert, and they're kind of wandering around the base of the pyramid. And the lotus flower is what sits between them. What are you being asked to do? The pyramid, right? That's the initial. Okay, if you've ever like lost a friend before cell phones, and I want to say friend because not child, that's like when your heart drops out of your chest and into your stomach and you just like in a mall or something like that, right? Or in some sort of area. And if you both keep wandering around, you can't find each other. You can't find each other. That energy is kind of here with needing to meet at the base of the pyramid. If at least one of you stands still, you will find each other. So that's the trick here. If either you're the one that's been in the standstill and it's getting to the point where you're like, I need to stand up and start looking. It's almost like to say you're going to stand up and start looking right at the point where this is about to come in. And if you're the one that's been wandering, you need to still your mind, because I'm not sure if you've gone down so many avenues now that maybe you're almost like, well, I'm not going to do this anymore. It's just to still your mind so that your path now becomes very direct. Okay. Yeah, there's something here like that. It's, yeah. I think that's all I have to say. The Hierophant and the Two of Pentacles, juggling responsibilities, juggling commitments here. Surrender to the divine. It's a full moon. Surrender commitments. Don't take on too many commitments. There's something here about not taking on too many commitments at once, too. Yeah. What am I doing the extended? What do I have written on this card? I don't know. No. I think what I'm going to do in the extended, because the Muse Tarot, all these cards are really talking so well together, I think I'm just going to continue pulling cards from these decks. Yeah. I'm going to leave what's on the table. The underlines will get reshuffled back in, and I'm just going to continue to pull cards and just see like what those messages talk to you about over there. All right. Thank you so much, Aries. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.